Darth Vader's armour was never a failure of Imperial engineering. It was the Emperor's most carefully calculated act of restraint. If the suit was designed to limit Vader, why did Palpatine still fear him enough to plan replacements? Palpatine's intention after Mustafar. After Mustafar, Palpatine did not abandon Darth Vader. In both canon and legends, Vader remained his primary Sith apprentice. What changed was Palpatine's assessment of potential. Anakin Skywalker had been envisioned as the fully realised chosen one, uninjured, limitless, and ultimately supreme. Vader, encased in armour and dependent on life support, no longer fit that ideal. Rather than discard him, Palpatine adopted a dual strategy, consistent with Sith tradition. Vader would be retained through control, suffering, and dependence. At the same time, Palpatine would remain open, actively, to superior replacements. This mirrors Palpatine's treatment of Maul, Dooku, and later Luke Skywalker. Already we see the first reframing. The suit was not about saving Vader, it was about managing risk. But how that management worked requires examining the suit itself. Why the suit was designed to hurt. In legend sources such as Dark Lord, The Rise of Darth Vader, and Shadows of the Empire, Vader's armour is explicitly described as painful, restrictive, and uncomfortable by design. This suffering served multiple overlapping purposes. Pain fueled anger, hatred, and rage, the emotional fuel of the dark side. Pain pushed Vader for his failure on Mustafar. Pain ensured dependency, reinforcing Palpatine's dominance. This was not neglect, it was deliberate engineering. The armour restricted mobility, dulled sensory input, and forced Vader to exist in a state of constant physical discomfort. Even basic functions, breathing, movement, speech, were mediated by machinery Palpatine controlled. Vader as a potential threat. Despite the suit's limitations, Palpatine never viewed Vader as harmless. A core Sith governed their relationship. An apprentice strong enough to serve is strong enough to overthrow you. Palpatine believed the armour, pain, and isolation prevented Vader from becoming an immediate existential threat, but never a permanent one. As a result, Palpatine stayed ahead of Vader's growth by maintaining technological constraints on Vader's suit, introducing rival agents and potential successors, such as the Inquisitors or Kylo's augmented warriors, forcing Vader to eliminate anyone he grew too close to or trained too deeply, including Starkiller in Legends. This was not cruelty for its own sake, it was preemptive containment, control through isolation. Vader's armour ensured near total isolation. Physically, he was concealed from the galaxy, masked, mechanized, and dependent on life support systems that separated him from normal interaction. Emotionally, the suit reinforced a single truth. Palpatine was all he had left. This mirrored Palpatine's earlier control of Maul, who was likewise isolated, weaponized, and emotionally stunted. The suit did not just keep Vader alive, it transformed him into a weapon. But here is where the dynamics become more complex, because Vader did not merely endure the pain. Vader's relationship with suffering. Over time, Vader learned to weaponize his pain. In both canon and legends, Vader deliberately retained certain painful aspects of the suit. He came to believe that suffering anchored him to the dark side and prevented emotional weakness. This created a dual truth that defines Vader's post-Mustafar existence. The suit hindered him, the suit empowered him. Unable to rely on agility or raw force potential, Vader compensated through relentless discipline, continuous training, exceptional lightsaber precision, force mastery refined for efficiency, not expression. This force specialization is why Vader became such a devastating Jedi hunter, but even mastery did not grant full freedom. suit limitations, and incremental upgrades. Vader was not static in his armour. Over the years, he maintained multiple suits and made incremental improvements where possible. Notably, he reinforced his internal systems to reduce vulnerability to electrical attacks. However, the suit was never fully immune to Force lightning. This vulnerability persisted by design and ultimately contributed to Vader's death in Return of the Jedi. These upgrades revealed something critical. Vader possessed agency, but only with boundaries Palpatine allowed, which brings us to a key misconception. Vader after Mustafar, weaker or deadlier. Despite catastrophic injuries, Vader became more dangerous, not less. He lost access to certain Force abilities, but gained greater physical strength, unyielding endurance, brutal efficiency, unmatched intimidation. His limitations forced refinement. Where Anakin relied on potential, Vader relied on certainty. This is why Palpatine continued testing him. Palpatine's endless trials. Palpatine subjected Vader to near impossible missions, not merely to punish him, but to assess him. Each trial measured loyalty, endurance, usefulness, and potential for growth, or stagnation. Vader was never secure in his position. Every success earned survival, not approval. And this is where Luke Skywalker enters the equation. Why Luke changed everything. In Luke, Palpatine saw what Anakin was meant to be. Uninjured, unbroken, unrestricted. Luke represented a second chance at a fully realized Sith Chosen One. This did not immediately invalidate Vader, but it placed him on borrowed time. The armor succeeded for decades. It controlled Vader. It bound him to pain. It delayed his challenge. But it could not erase Anakin Skywalker. Luke succeeded where the suit failed, not through control, but compassion. The ultimate irony is clear. The suit made Vader powerful. It could not destroy the man within. Palpatine weakened Vader, not because he was useless, but because he was dangerous. The suit was never meant to perfect Vader. It was meant to contain him. And despite every chain placed upon him, Vader became one of the most feared beings in galactic history. If you are enjoying these videos, consider becoming a channel member and let's uncover the galaxy's greatest secrets together. Thanks for watching.